Hello friends, I am Ms. Divya Rekha Maharana, Assistant Professor in the Department of ECE, St. Peter's Engineering College, Hyderabad. In my previous video, I discussed about the ARM processor fundamentals and the architecture of ARM processor. In this video, I am going to discuss about the different registers used, the banked registers, and the pipelining concept used. So here we can see the different registers used. As I said in ARM architecture, there are R0 to R15, 16 registers, 16 32-bit registers are present. Here you can see. Why the registers are used? These are used to hold either data or address. These registers are active in user mode. What is user mode? It is a protected mode normally used when executing applications. It has 18 active registers, that is 16 data registers R0 to R15 and 2 processor status registers, that is CPSR and SPSR, current program status registers and saved program status register. It has 3 special functional registers, that is R3, R13, 14 and 15. R13 is used as a stack pointer. You can call it SP. It is used to store the address of the top of the stack. R14 is the link register or LR. It carries the return address whenever calls a subroutine. R15 is the program counter PC. It stores the address of the next instruction to being executed. Next, we'll see about the current program status register. Here you can see the format of current CPSR, where it has 4 stages, 4 parts: flags, status, extension and code. This extension or the status bits are used in the higher version, or here it is not used. You can see, means here the used bits are from 0 to 7 and 28 to 31. Now come to the condition code flags. N shows negative result from ALU, Z shows 0 result from ALU, C shows that ALU operation carried out, D shows that ALU operation overflowed. Then come to sticky overflow flag or the Q flag. This is used by the architecture 5TE and later only. It indicates if saturation has occurred. Then J bit. Again the J bit used in the architecture 5TE, J and later only. J equal to 1 means processor in J0 state. Then come to the interrupt disable bits. Here are the interrupt disable bits I and F. If they are 1 means I equal to 1 means it disables the interrupt request. F equal to 1 means it disables the first interrupt request. Let's come to the T bit. If it is 0, processor in ARM state. If T equal to 1, processor in thumb state. It introduced in architecture 40. Then come to the mode bits. It specifies the processor mode. We'll discuss in my next slides what are the different modes. There are 7 basic processor modes are there. We will discuss. And the new bits in version 6 are the GE30. It is used by some SIMD instruction. Then E bit controls load or store endians. A bit disables imprecise data aborts. IT, ABCD, if then conditional execution of thumb to instruction groups. Here in CPSR, these bits are not used. Then come to the processor modes. As I told, there are 7 basic operating modes. Each mode has access to own stack and a different subset of registers. Some operations can only be carried out in a privileged mode. Here you can see 6 modes are privileged modes, 1 is unprivileged mode. Out of 6, 5 are exception modes. So what are the modes? First one is the supervisor or SBC. Entered on reset, and when the processor enters into SBC or supervisor mode, it entered on reset and when a software interrupt instruction is executed. First interrupt request mode, it entered when a high priority or first interrupt is raised. Then interrupt request, it entered when a low priority or normal interrupt is raised. Then come to abort mode. It used to handle memory access violations. Then undefined mode, it is used to handle undefined instructions. System mode, that is privileged mode using the same registers as user mode. Then come to user mode, this is the mode under which most applications or operating system takes part. Then come to banked registers. Here you can see in different modes, different registers are used. Based on the modes, the underscore that mode is given. First interrupt request, FIQ, the registers used in first interrupt request. Then interrupt request, IRQ, supervisor, SBC, undefined, undef, abort, ABT. Now I will discuss the banked register in detail. The figure shows all 37 registers in the register file. Of these, 20 registers are hidden from a program at different times. These registers are called banked registers and are identified by the shading in the diagram. Here you can see the shading. Here are 20 registers. They are available only when the processor is in a particular mode. For example, abort mode has banked registers R13 abort, R14 abort and SR abort. Banked registers of a particular mode are denoted by an underline character postfixed to the mode mnemonic or underscore mode. Every processor mode except user mode can change mode by writing directly to the mode bits of the CPSR. All processor modes except system mode have a set of associated banked registers that are a subset of the main 16 registers. A banked register maps one-to-one onto a user mode register. If you change processor mode, a banked register from the new mode will replace an existing register. How the mode changes on an exception. Now see in the figure, what happens when an interrupt forces a mode change? The figure shows the code changing from user mode to interrupt request mode. This is the user mode, this is the interrupt request mode. This change causes the user registers R13, R14 to be banked. The user registers are replaced with registers R13 underscore IRQ, R14 underscore IRQ. The R14 IRQ contains the return address and R13 IRQ contains the stack pointer for interrupt request mode. The saved program status register SPSR, which stores the previous mode's current program status register LU. To return back to user mode, a special return instruction is used that instructs the core to restore the original CPSR from the SPSR IRQ bank in the user registers R13 and R14. The SPSR can only be modified and read in a privileged mode. There is no SPSR available in the user mode. Then the state and instruction sets. The state of the code determines which instruction set is being used. 3 instruction sets are there, ARM, thumb and jazz. The ARM instruction set is only active when the processor is in ARM state. Similarly, the thumb instruction set is only active when the processor is in thumb state. The jazz, J and thumb T bits in the current program status register reflect the state of the processor. When J equal to 0 and T equal to 0, the processor is in ARM state and executes ARM instructions. This is the case when power is applied to the processor. When T equal to 1, the processor is in thumb state. Here we can see the comparison of ARM, thumb and jazz instruction set features. The comparison is based on the instruction site, core instructions used, conditional execution, data processing instructions, program status register and register used. Here you can see when the processor is in ARM state, at that time the T bit is 0. The instruction size is 32 bit. The core instructions 50. There is a conditional execution, and there is the access to barrel shifter and ALU. It can read and write in privileged mode, and there are 15 general purpose registers plus program counter. In thumb state means at that time T equal to 1. It has 16-bit instruction size. There are 30 core instructions. It has only branch instructions for conditional execution. There is a separate barrel shifter and ALU instructions. There is no direct access to the program status registers. It has 8 general purpose registers plus 7 high registers and a program counter. Jezzel mode comes when the T bit is 0 and J bit is 1. The instruction size is 8 bit and over 60% of the Java bytecodes are implemented in hardware. The rest of the codes are implemented in software. Next, come to the concept of pipeline used. The ARM uses a pipeline in order to increase the speed of the flow of instructions to the processor. Means pipelining is used to increase the speed. It allows several operations to be undertaken simultaneously rather than serially. Here you can see that ARM7 uses 3 stages, that is fetch, decode and execute. The fetch loads an instruction from memory. The decode identifies the instruction to be executed, and the execute processes the instruction and writes the result back to a register. Here you can see an example how the fetch, decode and execute works. Let's say take the add instruction is executed, the sub instruction is decoded and the compare instruction is fetched. See, in the first cycle, then when the add instruction is fetched, in the second cycle the add instruction is decoded. These are the 3 instructions we are given simultaneously. Here you can see when the add instruction is fetched, at the same time add instruction is decoded, at the same time the sub instruction is fetched. Similarly, when the add instruction is executed, at that time the sub instruction is decoded and the compare instruction is fetched. The procedure is called filling the pipeline. Now here we can see the ARM7 uses 3 stages of pipelining, that is instruction fetch, in decode, the thumb to ARM decompress, ARM decode and register select. In execute, the operations performed are register read, shift, ALU, arithmetic and logical operation and register write. In ARM9, there are 5 stages of pipelining. First is the instruction fetch, second one is decode, which consists of ARM or thumb instruction decode, register decode and register read. In execute, that is the both shift, barrel shifter and arithmetic and logic operations. In memory, it accesses the memory. In write, register write. In ARM10, it has 6 stages of pipelining. First one is the branch prediction and instruction fetch. Second is issue. It issues the ARM or thumb instruction decode. Third one is the decode. There register read operation is performed. In execute, the barrel shifter arithmetic logic unit is used and the multiply accumulate unit is also used. In memory access, multiply and add, write, register write. In ARM11, there are 8 stages of pipeline. Here you can see fetch, 2 fetch, 3 max stages, 2 data cache, decode, issue, address, shift, ALU, separate and write back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. There are 8 stages of pipeline in ARM11. So these are the comparison of different type of pipelining stages used in ARM7, ARM9, ARM10 and ARM11 processors. Now come to the exceptions, interrupts and the vector table. This is the vector table for different modes of operation. Here we set the values. X stands for the hexadecimal. The numbers here before means you have to write the 32-bit values. When an exception occurs, what happens? The core copies the CPSR into SPSR underscore mode. It sets appropriate CPSR bits. If the core implements ARM architecture 40 and is currently in thumb state, then ARM state is entered. Mode field bits, interrupt disable flags if appropriate. It maps in appropriate bank registers, stores the return address in LR mode, that is in R14 register, that is linked register underscore mode. It sets PC program counter to vector address. To return, exception handler needs to restore CPSR from SPSR underscore mode, restore program counter from link register underscore mode. Must be done in ARM state in most cores, but thumb to capable cores can do this in thumb state. Each vector table entry contains a form of branch instruction pointing to the start of a specific routine. So what are the functions? Reset vector is the location of the first instruction executed by the processor when power is applied. Undefined instruction vector is used when the processor cannot decode an instruction. Software interrupt vector is called when you execute a SWI software interrupt instruction. The SWI instruction is frequently used as the mechanism to invoke an operating system routine. Prefetch abort vector occurs when the processor attempts to fetch an instruction from an address without the correct access permissions. The actual abort occurs in the decode stage. Data abort vector is similar to a prefetch abort but is raised when an instruction attempts to access data memory without the correct access permissions. Interrupt request vector is used by external hardware to interrupt the normal execution flow of the processor. It can only be raised if interrupt requests are not masked in the current program status register. So, these are the details of the vectors used. There are 6 vectors are there. So, when these vectors are used, I have discussed. This is all about the ARM processor, the registers used, the pipelining concept used, and how the mode changed, what happens when an exception or interrupt occurs. Then next is the ARM instruction set, which I will discuss in my next video. So, thank you.